While I go through a few of the things that I would like to say, you can take a look at some of these pictures that I took at my local Kia dealership a few days ago. So there are a few things we're not getting in the United States that are available in the United Kingdom, South Korea, Australia, and in some cases even Canada. Before I get to that, I'd like to mention what some people call a deal breaker, and that is a manual transmission, or lack thereof. No Stinger has a manual, so at least you don't have to feel like you're missing out on a feature that other people have elsewhere. The things about manual transmissions, and believe me, I understand the desire to have one, is that they're a dying breed across all automobile manufacturers. The new automatics, especially those with dual clutch transmissions and whatever else may be available that I don't know about, they're faster. And more often than not, people are looking to buy a high performance car, to go fast in a straight line. I mean, that's just the way it is. That's the way most people race cars. I mean, the few that even actually race. So manually shifting isn't really faster anymore. It's not faster anymore, period. If you're racing somebody and you want the absolute best result that you're going to get, that's going to come from an automatic transmission. Now, there are still plenty of people who like that connected feel you get with a manual, and I clearly understand that. I've had several manuals. But when all is said and done, automobile manufacturers are looking to please the masses. It's a business. If the bean counters want a better bottom line, there's very little case for offering a manual transmission at this point, especially in an everyday mainstream car. If Kia were to bring us a super high performance variant of the Stinger GT that was intended to compete with cars like the M5, E63, CTSV, maybe then we would see a manual. But considering that the CTSV only has an automatic, and to my knowledge the E63 the same, and I'm not even sure the M5 has a manual anymore, I find it highly unlikely that the Stinger will ever have one. But you can't blame Kia for having no manual option when it's become so difficult to find one no matter where you look. So let's talk about options that aren't available in the US. And there are two specific things I want to talk about, but before that, colors, exterior colors. There's so much confusion going on right now about colors. If you're lucky enough to find the secret link on the Kia.com website where you can actually build a Stinger right now, even if you make it there, it's still not clear, what colors we're getting here in America. So, but you can find that link on the Stinger forum in the Stinger owners group. But, that is just another area that's very frustrating at this time. But I'd like to talk more about things like the 360-degree surround view camera, which appears to be missing from the Stinger in America. Now, I'm not sure why they decided to thrift this out of our model, but it's definitely upsetting a lot of people. Personally, I can do it without it, but somebody at the Stinger forum mentioned one really important scenario where this feature comes in handy. And if you aren't aware of the Stinger forum, you can find that at stingerforum.org. So this would be valet. Yes, the valet guy, or or the valet girl. You have to be politically correct or you go to hell. So the person valeting your vehicle, they can often use the help, especially at first when they're not accustomed to parking a car that is brand new, like the Stinger. So, I've heard there are some minor challenges with visibility because you either sit a little low or the belt line sits a little high. I don't know for sure, but a 360-degree camera would be very useful in that situation. Outside of that, I'm sure it's a nice convenience to be able to get into snug places with your car without having to worry about damaging your vehicle or anything around you. Is it a deal breaker? No, not for me. For you, I don't know. Let me know in the comments. As mentioned, I can do without it, and you probably can too. But I must agree with everyone at the Stinger forum who's not crazy about the idea that it would be taken away from us, and, just to the north in Canada, it's available. So that's odd. Another popular topic at the Stinger owners group is wireless charging. I'm kind of a tech guy. I like high-tech stuff. I like the idea of wireless charging. But almost all cars you buy at this point in time cannot use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay without being plugged into the USB port. So if you were planning on utilizing these features, which are really great, especially considering with navigation, you have the latest maps in your pocket on your phone, You're not really missing out on much by not having wireless charging. So, a few people mentioned a manufacturer or two, I think it might have been BMW, whose latest vehicles allow the use of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto via Bluetooth. That's awesome, and it will become more mainstream. It will become more mainstream very soon. But how fast does your phone charge, even when it's connected to via USB cable in your car? In my experience, not very fast, and perhaps not at all, unless I'm taking a very long trip. On most of my fast trips, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I get like 1%. I mean, nothing. Can you imagine how much faster it's going to be to charge wirelessly? It's probably going to charge so little that it doesn't even matter at this point. So in the future, wireless charging in cars is going to be great, but are we really ready for it today anyway? Not really. So if you're really not missing out on much by not having wireless charging in your Stinger. And again, these features are important to some people, and I'm pretty sure it's more about principle than anything else. I mean, if you can get a feature in the Optima that you can't get in the Stinger, yeah, that feels a little crappy. But something to keep in mind is that while Kia is beginning to move more upmarket with cars like the Cadenza, K900, and Stinger, they're trying to lose that stigma of being a bargain brand. So something has to give. At some point, one of the two, there's going to be a couple of cheaper cars that have a feature that the newer, more expensive one doesn't have. But I think people interested in a fair-priced, high-performance luxury sportback are going to be very hard-pressed to find a better deal than the Stinger. Car and Driver just did a 0 to 60 run in 4.4 seconds, and you may have seen the quarter-mile race between the Stinger GT and Mustang GT, and I believe Australia. The Stinger won. So you're still getting a lot for your money with this car. Go price out a fully loaded BMW 440i Grand Coupe or an Audi S5 Sportback, and you'll see exactly what I mean. This car isn't good for a Kia. It's good. It's that good. So definitely put it on your shopping list, give it a test drive, and check it out. But I really would like to hear your comments. I'd like to hear your thoughts. So please respond here in the comments, or if you're a forum person, you like forums, take a look over at the Stinger forum, which is available at stingerforum.org. Thank you very much, and take care.